In wrestling, bigger is usually better. That's why you see so many big guys in companies like WWE, AEW, and more. Which wrestlers though are the biggest? Well, the first one on our list literally has big in his name. Number 10, Big Daddy V, aka Viscera. This man went by a few names. When he debuted in WWE in 1993, he went by the name Mabel. Later on, he became known as Viscera and eventually Big Daddy V. Despite all the name changes, one thing remained the same, and that was Viscera's size. The man was one of the biggest wrestlers in WWE history. At the beginning of his career, he was said to be over 500 pounds, but this wasn't accurate. He was later announced at a smaller but still massive weight of 487 pounds, which was true. No wonder he was called Big Daddy V. He ate Big Daddies 1 through 4. Number 9, Big Show. Not only is he one of the tallest wrestlers of all time, the world's largest athlete is also one of the heaviest. However, his weight has been questioned. He's been announced as weighing anywhere from 383 pounds to 500 pounds. This inconsistent weight is also because of different workout routines and diets. However, during some of Big Show's heaviest points in his career, particularly in 2006, it's fair to say that he was legit 500 pounds, especially given his height. Now, who could be heavier than a guy who has big in his name? Well, number 8, Aki Bono. While most fans probably know him for his WrestleMania 21 match against The Big Show, Aki Bono actually has a pretty extensive wrestling career. Besides sumo wrestling, Aki Bono has wrestled in companies like New Japan Pro Wrestling, Dragon Gate, and many more. However, thanks to his sumo background, we know his real weight, which is an impressive 514 pounds. No wonder he was able to beat Big Show. Number 7, Andre the Giant. Like The Big Show, Andre's size has been debated. At just the age of 12, Andre was already 240 pounds and he kept getting bigger. By the time he was in the main event of WrestleMania 3 against Hulk Hogan, the Giant was being billed at 520 pounds. This number stayed pretty consistent and hasn't been disputed. Considering he once drank 119 beers in one sitting and could eat 12 steaks and 15 lobsters just for dinner, that number seems accurate. So we'll go with 520 pounds for the 8th wonder of the world. Number 6, Haystacks Calhoun. Some might not be familiar with Calhoun, and that's mainly because he wrestled from the late 1950s until retiring in 1980. By the age of 14, Haystacks Calhoun already weighed 300 pounds and kept getting bigger. According to the legend, before getting into wrestling, Haystacks was working on a farm where he was able to pick up cows and move them across the field with his bare hands. Whether that's true or not is unknown, but we do know that Calhoun was one of the heaviest men to ever step inside the ring. While his weight has been debated, it seems fair to say that the man from McKinney, Texas weighed a whopping 601 pounds. Number 5, Mountain Man Mike. You might not be familiar with this wrestler since he debuted in 1967. Mountain Man Mike wrestled throughout the 70s and even competed for WWE back when it was called the WWWF. Sadly, in 1988, while working as a bus driver, Man Mountain Mike got injured and developed a staph infection. This led to his death at the age of 47. Due to his untimely passing and the era he wrestled in, it's a bit tricky to find an official weight. However, the generally accepted weight of Mountain Man Mike is 625 pounds, and considering his size, I won't argue with that. Number 4, Yokozuna. The WWE Hall of Famer is one of the legendary big men in wrestling. Yoko was naturally a big guy, but unfortunately, he got to be too big. Yoko's weight began affecting his in-ring ability, and even worse, his health. He kept getting heavier and heavier until it got to the point that WWE fired him because Yoko refused to lose weight. Yoko would reveal exactly how much he weighed during a fan Q&A.
And what is your current weight?
Right now, I'm 641.
Number 3, Giant Haystacks. Another big wrestler named Haystacks? Well, that's because Giant Haystacks got his name from Haystack Calhoun. He even went under the name Haystacks Calhoun early in his career before changing to Giant Haystacks. The only reason he was able to do that was because he lived and wrestled in England, where he became a household name. In fact, Giant Haystacks didn't compete in the United States until 1996, 2 years before his death. While he didn't wrestle in WWE, he did wrestle for their competitor, WCW, as Loch Ness. Giant Haystacks' weight has been questioned, probably because it kept changing as he got older and heavier. However, at his heaviest, Haystacks weighed 700 pounds. Number 2, the McGuire twins. Okay, technically this is 2 wrestlers, but you'll see why I'm counting both of them. Billy and Benny McGuire debuted in 1971 and were called the world's heaviest twins. They almost exclusively wrestled together as a tag team, and when Billy McGuire died in 1979, his twin brother stopped wrestling. That's one of the reasons I'm putting them together. The other is that their weights were pretty similar. Billy weighed 720 743 pounds and Benny weighed 745 pounds. In total, both twins weighed a combined 1,468 pounds. I would have loved to see the McGuire twins take on the Bella twins. Now it's time for number 1. The biggest wrestler ever is Happy Humphrey. This wrestler was so big, he even made it into the Guinness Book of World Records. Happy Humphrey competed primarily in the 1950s and did wrestle a few matches for the Capital Wrestling Federation, which would later become WWE. Due to his size, it was difficult for Humphrey to live a normal life. There are stories of him getting stuck in a phone booth and even a movie theater seat. Happy Humphrey's weight did change throughout his career, with some reports saying he was 800 pounds, while others say he weighed as much as 1,000 pounds. It's difficult to verify these, but it seems safe to say that Humphrey did weigh a record-setting 900 pounds at his heaviest. What's really impressive though is his weight loss. After retiring from wrestling, Happy Humphrey lost roughly 600 pounds of weight. That's truly amazing. What's also amazing are the tallest wrestlers of all time and how big they really were. To find out, watch the video on screen.